Thank you, Honorable Speakers. I want to thank this Honorable Member for the right question in the right forum. As I mentioned yesterday, Honorable Speaker, sir, Fiji's ultimate goal, as with every other destination, sir, is to safely restore quarantine-free travel. So in order to get there, we need to first and foremost restore the trust as a tourism destination, and Tourism Fiji will play a critical role in building this particular trust, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, as we all know and as science dictates, COVID-19 is extremely volatile. We've had to adjust, we've had to adapt and act almost on a daily basis because the global situation keeps evolving. Last year, when Fiji was COVID contained, some of our markets were not. So now that we're in our second wave, our markets have either managed to contain the virus or have taken a similar turn as we have. And now, even as of yesterday and day before, if you all watched the news, even our contained neighbors are now facing difficulties, Australia and New Zealand. And with a reopening framework now in place, sir, this is where the work of Tourism Fiji will come into play. We've got a newly appointed CEO who will lead a clear direction to ensure readiness for a target of December opening. And this builds on the work with a focus on some key strategic priorities. And those priorities, Honorable Speaker, sir, one is to communicate to our markets by sharing the positive stories of the vaccination rate in Fiji and the work being done on the ground to prepare. We've already seen the impact of these positive stories by staying in the hearts and minds of the world. And I'm very proud to say there's been a phenomenal uptake of vaccination for all the resorts that we have. Two, sir, and to market by launching a global campaign by October or November 2021 to show the world that Fiji is actually welcoming tourists again. A global agency has been briefed after consultation with our regional markets, and plans are actually well underway for a large-scale campaign to be shot in Fiji. And thirdly, to be ready by heavily engaging with the industry and government to enable reopening, sir. We've been working on a daily basis, and we need to ensure that on-the-ground experience is as seamless, as safe, and as smooth as possible, and still done in our traditional happy Fijian way, sir. Discussions are continuing at pace to work on the protocols and the procedures to ensure safe passage of tourists, managing any cases and ensuring the safe accredited travel around Fiji. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to make a point that whilst this is a lull period, as it has been for the past 17 months, this does not mean that there have been no activities. Tourism may have stopped, but our preparatory work, including industry readiness and marketing, it has not ceased, sir. All the different stakeholders, the private sector, the ministry, everybody's been involved, together with Fiji Airways. It's been a massive, massive collaborative effort. As with other organizations and businesses, Honorable Speaker, sir, Tourism Fiji's budget has been reduced quite significantly, and we've taken a 32% reduction to about 26.2 million in this financial year. So with a marketing grant of around $20 million down $9.8 million compared to the pre-COVID levels, that, Mr. Speaker, sir, is a reduction of approximately 33% in Tourism Fiji's marketing budget. Tourism Fiji will realign and lead marketing activities across Fiji's international markets. The global budget share based on current market intelligence shows some stronger potential. As I mentioned, this may change over the next few months based on the agility of these markets. And with a gradual increase in travel demand, competition will be stronger as destinations grapple to secure market share. And Fiji needs to ensure that we reach and engage with potential travelers so that we don't completely lose out on these markets. We will also increase our marketing spend in the North American market, given stronger sentiments and no return quarantine requirement. Where we will do this whilst maintaining our presence in Australia and New Zealand markets because of our heavy reliance and stronger brand presence, Honorable Speaker, sir. Markets with the lower travel demand, such as India, have more conservative marketing and promotion efforts. Mr. Speaker, sir, Tourism Fiji has also streamlined its own operations and reduced its operating costs by about 30% when compared to the pre-COVID numbers. This is due to TF right sizing and having a smaller and more strategic workforce that will see to better utilization of our regional market resources, just like any other firm or company has done, sir. Measures such as continued freeze on non-essential travel, building internal capacity, adjustment to staff complement across the regions, and realigning administrative costs will ensure operational efficiency. Mr. Speaker, sir, Fiji's regional teams have been pursuing a number of key activities to ensure a presence in the market, and this includes webinars with trade partners and in-person and virtual trade shows and new trade sales tools to keep them inspired about Fiji. A lot of virtual work has gone on. In summary, Honorable Speaker, sir, Tourism Fiji has consistently pivoted to support the industry through the pandemic, and they will continue on this path while focusing their efforts on the reopening of our borders to the world. And looking ahead, Sir, TF will use a more targeted approach and leverage our partnership with the other agencies such as Fiji Airways, such as Film Fiji, and our trade commissions throughout the world, sir. I thank you, and I hope that answers the Honourable Gabuka's question, sir.
I thank the Honourable Minister.